on VCU InSight.
It's called revenge porn, and it's become a widespread problem among internet users.
Brander Mill community residents fight for home-based businesses in their neighborhood.
And Sub Rosa Bakery reopens after a fire last April.
All this and more.
VCU InSight starts right now. Welcome to VCU InSight. I'm Carter Johnson.
And I'm Shanique Yates. Thanks for joining us. Our top story, it's called revenge porn, and it's become so common that it's gotten the attention of lawmakers here in Virginia. InSight's Matthew Hall is in the newsroom to tell us more about it. Good evening, Matthew.
Good evening, Shanique. It happens a lot, posting illicit pictures of your ex online. What's even more shocking is that it's legal in every state except California and New Jersey. 25-year-old small business owner Nicole Kuhn never imagined she would find sexually explicit photos of herself she sent to a trusted boyfriend on the internet. This practice is known as revenge porn and is usually submitted to websites by ex-boyfriends or girlfriends because of a bad breakup.
Like being young and in love, you always trust the other person, no matter what.
Here at the General Assembly, Virginia lawmakers are seeking to outlaw revenge porn, thanks to Democratic Delegate Marcus Simon and his new bill. Delegate Marcus Simon, along with many others, feel that posting explicit content of someone without their permission is not okay.
25 years ago, nobody had cell phones that could take pictures or make videos. There wasn't an opportunity to send sexually explicit images over your phone, and there wasn't an internet to post them on. So this is a kind of a new problem that seemed like it really was in need of a solution here in Virginia.
Simon became dedicated to making these acts illegal after he noticed a growing trend of these incidents happening.
This is a problem that is growing here in Virginia as younger people are in more relationships. This is, I guess, becoming normal.
He discovered that websites like myex.com are all over the internet for the sole intent to embarrass and shame ex-lovers.
On a day-to-day basis, yeah, it's stuck in the back of my head that this is on the internet, but I still have to carry on.
The bill is gaining momentum in the General Assembly. It has already passed committee and moved on to the House. They could take action on it any day now. Back to you, Carter.
Thanks, Matthew. VCU is now home to one of Virginia's first college food pantries. It's called Ram Pantry, and its mission is to ensure that no VCU student goes unfed. The idea was sparked by VCU employee Terrence Walker when he noticed students didn't have enough money for food. VCU is one of a few dozen colleges around the country that has a student food pantry. In its first 2 weeks, Ram Pantry fed 200 students. The school is also the only Virginia university that is a member of the College and University Food Bank. Ram Pantry is open every Wednesday and is located on Cathedral Place on the Monroe Park campus.
The VCU police need a larger training facility to accommodate the largest college police force in the state. InSight's Terrence Dixon has more on this story.
VCU plans to build a state-of-the-art training facility on campus like this one. VCU police officer Greg Felton says this facility will have them prepared for anything.
It's going to allow us to have a place that will be on our time, our schedule, and an area where we can dedicate simulations and those types of scenarios for a variety of different situations.
VCU has the largest college police force in Virginia and has been training officers since 1978, but has always trained off campus. Felton feels VCU police have been relying on other agencies for too long.
We need an additional training facility. We need the ability to do more training, more in-depth training.
Since VCU does not have an actual training facility, they train at other local agencies such as the Richmond Police Training Academy. The training facility will have indoor and outdoor firing ranges and classrooms that will simulate what officers might encounter in the field. Richmond Police Lieutenant Mauricio Tavares says VCU Police and other universities use their facilities very often.
And we hold every class you could think of pertaining to law enforcement.
Right now, there are currently no blueprints. VCU is still in the process of finding a location. For VCU InSight, I'm Terrence Dixon.
Once completed, the facility will be open for other agencies and universities to use, as well as VCU's own police force.
The Virginia General Assembly focuses on ethics after accusations that former Governor Bob McDonnell and his wife Maureen accepted unnecessary gifts from lobbyists. These gifts and loans amounted to over $165,000. The former first couple received a 14-count indictment on conspiracy and fraud. According to the Associated Press, the Senate voted 39-1 to approve an ethics bill after a long debate. The plea deal offered by prosecutors in late December would have omitted accusations that McDonnell misused his position as governor. Instead, he would have pleaded guilty to failing to disclose Williams' loans on a list of liabilities, according to the Washington Post. The former first couple's attorneys argue that they are innocent of all charges and any omissions were unintentional. The New Life for Youth Community Center is having its first ever coat drive. New Life has collected close to 1,000 coats over the last 3 weeks, and they are handing them out fast. Their goal is to give all the coats they have remaining away for free to those in need. The event will be held at New Life's thrift store in Midlothian from 2 p.m. until 4 p.m. every day until the end of this month. Coats are available in sizes for both children and adults.
Dr. Beverly Warren, VCU's provost, will be leaving the school to become president of Kent State University. InSight's Randy Ayala is in the studio with Dr. Beverly Warren.
I'm here with Dr. Beverly Warren, the provost for Virginia Commonwealth University. Welcome to InSight, and congratulations on being named president of Kent State University.
Thank you so much. It's great to be with you.
So you've been the provost for going on 4 years now. What are you going to miss most about VCU?
For me, it's really all about the people at VCU. It has been just a wonderful, wonderful academic home for me. Great relationships over time. I'll miss students, faculty, and staff that have meant so much to me over the years. Lots of friendships. I'll miss that.
As you make the transition from provost to president of a new school, are you doing anything special to prepare yourself for that change?
One of the things I'm doing is trying to learn as much as I can about Kent State University. Since it was a confidential search, I was not able to meet a broad spectrum of individuals at Kent State. So I'm going back once a month and really trying to listen to students and faculty and staff and administration about what it is they think is special about Kent State University. I will say that I see a lot of similarities between Kent State and VCU, and that's one of the reasons I was attracted to Kent State, is to work with a fine group of people there.
That's great. We have some footage of you from a recent meeting that we can take a look at.
Our efforts to bring in
So you were at the University Council meeting here, and you've been a part of the VCU faculty for over 10 years. What changes have you seen VCU go through since you came here in 2000?
It's really been a great transformation from a great foundation. When I came in 2000, I was really attracted to Virginia Commonwealth University because it was a research university on the rise. It had an academic medical center highly ranked. It had the #1 School of the Arts. So it was a great environment that I thought I could really advance as an academic leader. What I've seen over time is as we have leveled off in our enrollment growth, which was an issue and a area where we really focused in the early 2000s, we're now looking at the quality of our programs, at the quality of the education you receive as students. What goes on inside those beautiful buildings we've built recently has been a real focus of President Rao, and I think he's made tremendous strides in moving VCU forward as a major national public research university.
Speaking of quality education, I know VCU is going through the quality enhancement plan. What changes does that make for students right now?
The Quality Enhancement Plan is a requirement of our Southern Association of Colleges and Schools regional accreditation requirements. So every 10 years, we have to go through a reaffirmation of our regional accreditation. A part of that is what we call the Quality Enhancement Plan. And SACS, as we call the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, requires that we focus on learning, student learning, and how might we be more innovative about that over time. So our current plan is based around learning that matters. We're really focusing on what you as a student will gain that would make you be a lifelong learner, that would really transcend any major or degree. That is, how do you generalize your education to become the leader we know you can become in the future? And you're going to lead in fields that we can't even imagine. I don't know where mass communications is going in the future, but you're going to be a part of that future. And so we hope that your learning transcends across all areas and you become this learner that's going to be a lifelong learner.
Okay. And right now, excuse me, the search for the new provost is currently underway. What ideal qualities would the new provost have?
I think it's a combination of a really seasoned administrator that is familiar with a major research university environment to continue to work in partnership with President Rao. I think that connection between a provost and a president is so very important. Dr. Rao really cares about how we treat people and what your learning is like. And so finding that seasoned administrator that really does care about culture and climate, a seasoned administrator that cares about a diverse environment. I think one of the things that draws us to VCU is its diversity. And so we want a provost who is going to uphold those ideals of diversity, uphold the student experience. We want to be that major research university that cares about the student experience. So I want to find a provost that can do both.
I've been speaking with VCU Provost, Dr. Beverly Warren. Dr. Warren, thank you, and again, congratulations on your new position.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Homeowners in one Chesterfield County neighborhood could see a change in what they're allowed to do with their property. InSight's Allison Bauer is in the newsroom to tell us more. Good evening, Allison.
Good evening, Shanique. One woman is at odds with her homeowners association and its 40-year-old code, and she's fighting to change it.
For the last 17 years, Joni Roberts has run a state-licensed daycare out of her Brander Mill home. But now she says her daycare and the 565 other home-based businesses in the community could be at risk.
I've done nothing but good for this community.
Roberts needs the okay of Chesterfield County to renew her license, but the county is turning to the Brander Mill Community Association for guidance. The problem? The association's code says in-home businesses on residential properties can't create traffic.
I don't have traffic coming all the time.
In Roberts' case, it's only a few cars, but Brander Mill says that's enough.
Community manager John Bailey declined requests to be on camera, but he did give us a copy of this survey sent out to nearly 4,000 Brander Mill residents addressing home-based businesses in the community.
The survey will ask homeowners their opinion of in-home businesses and whether or not they want to change the code. Brander Mill resident Rosemary Hardwidge is grateful Roberts Daycare is in her neighborhood.
Support her. Everyone on the street is thankful that Joni's here. She's probably watched every child on the street grow up.
Roberts says she hopes to keep running her daycare and that the homeowners will vote to change the code.
I think it's time to look at the laws, look at the regulations, and really make a good decision for the welfare of the children.
Brander Mill's board will review the surveys, and the county is holding a meeting on February 20th. A decision to change the code or enforce the current one is up to the 4,000 residents in Brander Mills Homeowners Association. Back to you, Carter.
Thanks, Allison. Virginia Commonwealth University is finishing renovations to its student commons. This is the final part of a $400,000 improvement plan that started in May of last year. Officials say $150,000 is going toward a refurbished information desk, new furniture, and easy access to power outlets. New sliding doors on Floyd Avenue are also part of the addition. This is the first major renovation of the Commons in over 10 years. The NFL's Play 60 is a national childhood obesity campaign that challenges kids to get moving for 60 minutes a day. Now, a Richmond elementary school is going to be a part of it.
I promise to exercise and eat right.
Don't forget 60 minutes of play a day, right?
Many saw this commercial for the NFL's Play 60 childhood obesity campaign during this year's Super Bowl, the biggest sporting event of the year. The campaign focuses on promoting healthy living among children through exercising and eating healthy foods. Ginter Park Elementary principal Indira Williams wanted her school to be a part, so they applied for a grant.
We've been talking quite a bit about the cyclical effects of eating healthy and certainly practicing that health through physical activity. So when this opportunity came along, we were very excited.
Ginter Park succeeded and was one of 6 Richmond elementary schools to receive the grant. It allows Ginter Park to provide its students with healthy breakfast to start the day and physical activity breaks throughout the day. According to a study by Trust for America's Health, Virginia schools did not meet the nutritional standards for school meals and physical activity last year. Father of 2, Brent Hutchinson, supports the initiative. He believes that exercise helps children perform better academically.
I can say that I believe there's a correlation. You get your blood pumping, take a break from study, come back to study.
A big part of Ginter Park's program is making sure the kids are practicing healthy living at home by giving them 60 minutes of play as homework.
I do feel that if we start children young enough, that this is going to be a lifelong habit.
Other schools to receive the grant included Broad Rock, Fairfield Court, Francis, Swansboro, and Woodville.
Hundreds pinked out the Siegel Center in support of breast cancer awareness. VCU Athletics teamed up with Massey Cancer Center for the women's basketball pinkout game against the Richmond Spiders February 8th. Everyone from the players to the fans and even Rodney the Ram wore pink shirts and jerseys. 500 shirts were also given to visitors. It included a special halftime presentation to honor current fighters and survivors of breast cancer. The Rams won to their Richmond rivals with a score of 63-62 at the final buzzer.
The 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia is in full swing despite athletes arriving to unfinished construction. The U.S. sent 230 athletes to compete in 15 events over the 2 weeks, the largest delegation they have ever sent to an Olympic Winter Games. It is also the first time the U.S. has participated in an Olympics held on Russian soil. The Games will finish on February 23rd. Visit Sochi.ru for video, schedules, and results.
While the Olympic buzz continues, D.C. is still preparing its bid for the 2024 Games. The campaign is called D.C. 2024, and the proposal includes Richmond. InSight's Philip Marcello has the story on why the River City is an important piece for the bid.
The Coliseum, sports backers, Browns Island. If you live in Richmond, you've probably been to these places. But one day, these venues may be home to something bigger, Olympic athletes.
The facilities will be perfect for training before the Olympics.
While none of the actual Olympic events would be held in the city of Richmond, venues just like the Coliseum here would be used as training centers for countries and athletes that are visiting and staying in the area.
Jack Berry, who heads up Richmond Region Tourism, believes hotels and businesses here are a major draw.
So what happens is then for 2024 with the Olympic bid, they need 100,000 hotel rooms. So the impact will be overflowing to Richmond, to Maryland, Northern Virginia.
The attraction between DC 2024 and Richmond is mutual. Sportsbackers Executive Director John Lugbill says Richmond would benefit immensely if the games were to come to DC.
Well, an event like the Olympics is transformational in that people start to see themselves as an Olympic city, a city that's international in scope and scale, and that sees themselves as a player in the world community.
A community Richmond is now one step closer to being in. For VCU InSight, I'm Philip Marcello.
Barry says that if DC were to be awarded the Olympic bid, it would create momentum for Richmond to upgrade existing facilities like the Coliseum. The 2024 Olympic site won't be announced for another 3 years.
A member of the Broadcasters Hall of Fame was honored by the gospel music community with the Print Media Award for 2007. Terrence Dixon is in the studio with Sheila Bell, host of The Bell Report.
I'm here in the studio with Sheila Bell, a local radio personality and the author of The Bell Report. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So I understand The Bell Report is in other states besides Virginia. Can you tell me a little bit about The Bell Report and what it is?
Well, there's a story behind The Bell Report. The Bell Report was actually created for my family, the Bell, and this is after a cousin was involved in a motorcycle accident. He was out in Charlottesville, and he slid. It was a tree branch that went directly through his eye, and his son was right behind him. So his mom, my aunt, called me up, and she said, "Can you put out something and let the family know what's going on with Kevin?" So I did that, and I kept doing that because he was in the hospital about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks. But in the report, which was just a news update to the family, I called it the Bell Report, which was kind of cool. But I had no idea after he started getting better that I would include a couple of events for the family to actually participate in, just so he could actually get together with us. And I kept calling it the Bell Report. And then when I started adding a few more events for the family to do, someone in the family told someone that, hey, Sheila is putting out this newsletter, and maybe she can put some other events on it for maybe some other people to do as well. So the event piece started to grow, and I separated the two. And another friend of mine found out about, she's putting out something to let people know what's going on. So a friend of mine, Chuck Spearman out of St. Louis, Missouri, he sent me 500 emails of his people. He said, can you include these events as well? And then the report started to just take off. So the Bell Report, the family report, became one report, but the other report started to grow. And because of my background in doing news and working in the music industry, I started to have a feel for what I needed to do. And then some even family members said, take me off of the other report, it's getting too intense. So the Bell Report itself, I made that a family report and kept that separate, but the other report really started to grow. And from there, we just started picking up more stuff, more stories, and then my background as a journalist, my background in news, my background in writing started to kick in, and then we made it into what it is now, which is serving over 450,000 people across the country with emails and news. It's crazy.
Now, you mentioned that it started to grow. Right now, under 400,000 people are subscribed to it. Why do you think it grew so big?
It grew big because of how we marketed it, and a lot of places where I go and people that I talk to and people that I interview, everywhere that I went, I started picking up emails. I started to grow the business that way. So people in different places started to get it, and people start realizing, oh, wow, there's something to this. But it's amazing how when you have internet now, people are sending out stuff every day. And the key that I found out was sending out something the same time, around the same time, every day, Monday through Friday, and people started to look for it. So it became this reliable news outlet that people were looking forward to, and now you've got other gospel announcers and other parts of the state who look to this as their source for news. So being reliable, being dependable, being an outlet where people knew where the facts were and where the stories were fair, it made us this news outlet.
All right. Now, I understand that people call it the Bell Report the CNN of news. Why is that?
Because they depend on the Bell Report for news. Anything that's going on in the gospel community, from Dr. Bobby Jones to Vicki Winans to Kirk Franklin, people want to know what's going on. And it doesn't hurt that I'm also Dr. Bobby Jones' publicist, that I work with some of these gospel artists and I help them book different events, and people book me as well to speak and to also do cool things at MC events.
Okay. All right. I've been speaking with local radio personality Sheila Bell. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you.
After losing their business to a fire, the owners of a local restaurant struggled to rebuild. InSight's Randy Ayala has more on the reopening of Sub Rosa Bakery.
Sub Rosa reopened its doors the last week of January after a fire consumed the whole building 4 months after it opened. The renovations cost more than $350,000. But co-owner Ivram Dagu says the bakery had a lot of help getting back on its feet.
You know, it was a very emotional week, the first week after the fire, because everyone was wanting to help us. So it was wonderful.
Everyone from big corporations to small businesses wanted to help Sub Rosa reopen. Bon Secours gave Sub Rosa 3 different grants totaling $25,000 as a part of its Supporting East End Entrepreneurship Development Program. Local businesses also lended a helping hand and held 2 different benefit dinners. Insurance did cover most of the rebuilding, but not all of it, and that's why local businesses jumped in. The dinner held here at the Roosevelt brought in an estimated $4,300. Several other businesses, including Restaurant and Bar Heritage, pitched in with food and prizes. Lee Gregory, owner of the Roosevelt, felt obligated to reach out and help his neighbor.
They're our neighbors. We understand how hard it was to start a business, and for something that drastic to happen, you know, that early into their restaurant life, it's awful.
Dagu says business has been a little bit better than normal since reopening. Not even a fire could burn his passion for baking. For VCU InSight, I'm Randy Ayala.
Dogu has not said yet if he plans on doing anything to repay the business who helped him.
And finally tonight, finding love isn't always easy, so one Richmond woman has taken matters into her own hands.
She has launched her own campaign, complete with billboards, to find her Prince Charming. On a billboard purchased by Devise Clement, it says, "One journey, 1 year, 1 love." She is making a bold statement this year and going on a lot of dates. She is a 32-year-old hairstylist who says she has reached a point in her life where everything is complete except for one thing, a husband to share it with. Clement launched a campaign where she goes on a date each week for the rest of the year to find her beau. She calls it 54 dates to a mate.
Been a just joyful experience, and I'm having a really great time meeting some really great people.
The campaign kicked off the first week in January and will continue through December. Clement says the method to her madness is to find one love. Fake Clement, it's quite simple. You can nominate someone online, or you can nominate yourself at 54dates.com. Clement's friends then go through the guys before choosing one they think will fit her best. VCU psychology professor Dr. Micah McCreary says that a campaign like 54 Dates says more about the person that is looking for love.
It usually speaks more to what's going on inside of them, that it's not there.
Clement says there was a cost involved with the making of this campaign, but that anything worth having is worth going after no matter the cost, and that she wants more out of the dates than meeting her prince.
Meet a really great guy. But bigger than that, I really do want to use my journey in this campaign as a platform to inspire other women to just dream big. And
she's hoping by New Year's Eve, she will have found love. Thanks for watching. I'm Shanique Yates.
And I'm Carter Johnson. We'll see you next time.